Good morning, classmates. My name is Vanessa, and I'm going to be discussing chapter 14, privileged deviance. So let's get started. Okay, so what is white collar deviance? This is a quick quote. White collar crime may be defined approximately as a crime committed by a person of respectably and high social status in the course of his occupation. Consequently, it includes many crimes of the upper class, such as most of their cases of murder, adultery, and intoxication. Since these are not customary a part of their occupational procedures. Sutherland, page 352. So here's a note. Two things characterize white collar crime. So one of them is it is occupational related, carried out during the course of the offender's occupation, and the occupation involved in white collar as opposed to blue collar. In other words, a high status in a work environment of an individual makes them known as white collar individuals. Another thing that characterizes a white collar is the economic deviant is a relatively respectable, high status person. Individuals with power, money, and skills. B, white collar can be known to be done by upper class individuals. However, the ones that are much more into this type of crime are known to be middle class. And C, white collar deviance includes both occupational and corporate deviance. So our first title is corporate deviance. Basically, corporate deviance usually takes place in corporations. Deviance acts by executives for benefits and for the company and for themselves. That's what their acts consist of as executive. Okay, so there are four major type of corporate deviance. One of them is deviance against employees. So basically, the fundamentals, the underlining of the deviance against employees is profit maximization. That's one of them. That's basically ignorance of employees' health, corporate structure, negligence about worker safety, fail to consider long-term consequences, not being mindful of their future or near future disabled employees. Also, another one is government reluctant to action against offending corporations. Another word, motivates, basically this deviant against employees is basically motivates executives to judge employees worth, to judge their employees' worth, and focus more on profit gains, resulting employees tend to basically be treated as they were machines, and machines are replaceable. So that's under the deviance against employees. Then we have number 2, deviance against customers. 5 common corporate deviance against customers are excuse me. They are dangerous foods, unsafe products, frauds, deceptive advertising, and antitrust violations. Well, we would kind of figure out what dangerous foods means, and unsafe products. However, the unsafe products are basically they are dealing with unsafe products, basically infrequent occurrences, such as a lot of potentially dangerous drugs get FDA approved. That's basically under what falls under the frauds. I'm sorry, the unsafe products. And then the frauds, there's three types of fraud. Excuse me. Illegal non-banking activities, collective embezzlement, and covering up false records. Basically, covering up. And then what do they cover up? False records. So another number three, deviant against the government, basically like tax evasion. Basically, Donald Trump, him not paying a million, he's a 1%er and doesn't pay his taxes. So that's like considered white collar deviance action. And another one is deviance against the environment, so basically pollution. And the ones that basically suffer from this pollution more is the minorities that are, that the companies or corporate or all that pollution and intoxication, they locate near the majority of minorities that are in low class, so they suffer the most in the in their health. So another title in and this, I mean, reading the literature in the chapter, privileged privileged deviance is a social profile of corporate crooks. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 known, just in the literature, corporate crooks. And for example, Kenneth Lay, he is considered a crook. Energy trading company, pocket millions of dollars, in this company. Another title will be occupation deviance, and that one consists of basically breaking down what occupational deviance looks like and works and how it works. So it starts off with the employee thief. Basically, they're large. They work in large corporations, and so also union management conflict, find their jobs boring. So that's what makes, those are the three discussed informations of why an employee excuse me, steals. Another one is embezzlement. A basic example of that is the low level employees are basically the middle class. Excuse me, most in management positions. According to Donald Creasy, prospective embezzlement usually go through a social psychological process that consists of three phases. And they are: 1, unshareable finance problem; number 2, opportunity; and 3, rationalize. And another occupational deviance is financial fraud. An example: most common financial fraud, failure to pay income tax. Another occupational deviance is deviance in the profession. So basically, there's two deviants in a profession that are, in the book, in the literature. So it's deviance in the profession. They are medical misconduct, basically fee splitting, unnecessary surgery, fraudulently claiming payments. And the second one is lawyerly lawlessness, basically overcharging clients, clients that need assistance of a lawyer. Another title of this chapter is what makes white collar what makes white collar deviance unique. There are three, and the deviance respectable self-image. It's what makes them unique. Also, the victim's unwaiting corporation, meaning unwaiting because it is based on victims' careless or ignorance. Another title we're going to discuss is causes of white collar deviance. is deviant motivation, fear of loss and greed for gain, and deviant opportunity, the benefit of high position and power. The higher position of an individual, the higher the chance of a deviant act. Also, weak social control, basically lack of law enforcement. Another title is governmental deviance, basically political corruption. So there's three fundamentals of the political corruption is A, receiving kickbacks from businesses, B, abusive management of public funds, and C, abuse the franc, basically a taxpayer fund propaganda machine. Or it can also talk about the election and properties, denial of voting right, falsely encourages citizens to vote. However, the electoral college selects the president. So it's kind of like a fraud, like this Biden and Trump thing, We don't, rumors, accusations that it's all a fraud and stuff, and possibly not. But this is very interesting, especially learning about this deviance, white collar acts, especially in the political field. And also it also consists of political dirty tricks. Yeah, it talks about that, like telephone sleaze, basically when they call you and they're running for president, and they start bashing the president or the other president, the candidates. And also campaign finance abuse. Yeah, so in other words, candidates tend to candidates for election, the candidates that are in the election office usually get sponsored by wealthy and large corporations for profit and benefits. Also, another one is official violence. So basically, police brutality and killings of citizens, the killings of people by their government, homicide. Yeah. So another title is the global perspective on official corruption. The poorer the country, the more corrupted are the public officials. Three major causes of official corruption: poverty, large population, and lack of democracy. Another title is official ways of neutralizing deviance. In other words, the ritual of wiggle, denying the obvious, basically not acknowledging their wrongs and lies, ignoring the deviance, basically running from the truth and press to not speak about deviant acts, promising to take action, broken promises, justifying the deviance. Neutralization is rationalization. Excuse me. And it talks about four found, underlying, I'm sorry. And then there's this other one, which is other methods of neutralization. And basically that one has underlying meaning to it, which one of them, A, is methodor of the ledger, B, claim of normality, C, claim of relative acceptability, and D, claim of entitlement. So another title is cause of government deviance. So basically it has three important causes of the problem of governmental deviance. So one of them is superabundance of ambiguous laws, which is lack of clear-cut laws for controlling official taxation. And basically discretionary wilderness. And then we have governmental complexity that consists of two different underlying Meanings, meaning unintentional deviance and intentional deviance. And then we have, to conclude this video, and our last title, which was causes of government deviance, is power. Power. So it actually does also consist of three underlying meanings of power and the governmental deviance, the causes of governmental deviance. And it's power. And the three is A, stronger deviant motivation, B, greater deviant opportunity, and C, weaker social control. So there we have it, and I would like to thank you for listening, and happy Thanksgiving, because it's on Tuesday. So have a good holiday and be safe.